Hello, and I welcome you all to this module on woven fabric defects. I am Dr. Muralidhar from the Department of Textile Technology, AC Tech, Anna University, Chennai. In this deliberation, we will see about the different causes of woven fabrics and to be able to identify as to what a woven fabric defect is and how the defect influences the fabric parameters. A brief introduction into the woven fabric defects. Woven fabrics are commonly used materials in everyday life, is manufactured with fibers such as natural, synthetic or blends of both natural and synthetic fibers. Woven fabric defects in textile and apparel industry refers to the inhomogeneous areas of the woven fabric surfaces. A defect means a fault on the fabric's surface as a result of the manufacturing process. Fabric inspection is a quality control process meant at classifying and locating defects. The changing fashion industry has produced large product diversity and short life cycles for production. Since textile fabric constitutes about 50 to 60% of the cost of the garment manufacturing, garments with fabric defects sell with massive discounts of 45 to 65%. As such, quality control of fabrics before further value addition is essential to ensure the quality of finished products. Undeniably, improved inspection performance leads to better product image. Currently, fabric inspection process is mainly performed manually. Manual inspection is a means to assure quality. It helps correction of small defects. At present, there are more than 70 types of fabric defects defined by textile industry. Fabric defects particularly result from yarn faults, machine problems, excessive stretching, poor finishing, among others. The reliability of manual inspection is limited by inattentiveness and boredom. However, automatic fabric inspection is advantageous. Nonetheless, there are challenges such as wide variety of fabrics, distinct compositions and textures. Similarly, similarity in the shape between defects and background textures. As such, it is not easy to tackle all the challenges by a single method. Textile manufacturing operations are exceedingly complex, and it is not within the scope of this module to discuss each operation in fabric manufacturing, which are potential source of trouble in the finished fabric. However, a number of principal operations to which defects may be traced will be highlighted. The grading of fabrics. During the inspection, fabric defects are identified and the mendable defects are mended. Also at this stage, depending on the frequency and type of defects, fabrics are examined and graded into different categories depending on the severity of the defects. The first quality. Fabric pieces containing no objectionable faults are categorized as first quality. Short length. Fabric pieces having length shorter compared to the length specified by the buyer are categorized as short lengths. Seconds fabric. Fabric pieces containing minor flaws which are not objectionable are graded as seconds. The rags. Fabrics cut pieces whose length varies in between 25 to 90 centimeters are classified as rags. And the chindis. Fabrics cut pieces having length shorter than 25 centimeters are called as chindis. Types of fabric defects. Fabric defects are broadly classified into avoidable and unavoidable defects, major and minor defects, and mendable and unmendable defects. It is very difficult to avoid certain defects despite best practices like, for example, the floats. However, majority of the defects can be avoided if certain precautions are taken. Amended starting mark is considered a minor defect, whereas weft cracks are major defects. Further, certain defects such as isolated snarls could be mended. Broad classification of the major and minor defects. Now, the broad classification of the major and minor defects. The different types of defects are, for example, stain which when it occurs at more than one place is considered as a major defect, whereas a missing end with a length of up to 3 centimeters is considered as a minor, greater than 3 centimeters is considered as a major defect. Cracks, 1 or 2 picks, crack of 1 or 2 picks is considered as a minor defect, crack of more than 2 picks is considered as a major defect. Thick place, up to 2 picks is considered as a minor, and more than 3 picks it is considered as a major defect. Broken picks, less than half the fabric width is considered as a minor defect, when it is greater than half the fabric width is considered as a major defect. Slubs and the size or range of 1 centimeter, less than 1 centimeter is considered as a minor defect, and slubs in the range of greater than 1 centimeter is considered as a major defect. Floats with a float length of less than 1 centimeter is considered as a minor defect, and lengths of greater than 1 centimeter to up to 5 centimeters is considered as a major defect. Similarly, filament ruptures occurring at more than one place is considered as a major defect. Double picks and lashing in, which occurs frequently, is considered less frequently is considered as a minor defect, more frequently it is considered as a major defect. Weaving defects. For centuries, the process of weaving has remained unchanged. However, today's high-speed loom are complex equipments with automatic, mechanical, and electrical controls which are precision built, require careful maintenance and fine adjustments. Warp imperfections. Following the process of drawing in through the heels according to the design pattern, at this stage the errors which may occur is wrong drawing in, or the ends drawn in at improper sequence, which would result in distortion of pattern. The warp ends that pass through reed, essentially a comb having a series of metal wires equally spaced, the space between the wires being specified according to the type of the fabric. Principal imperfections may be chafing due to rough metal edges, grease, rust stains from dirty reeds, and variations in space between the warp ends due to weak or damaged reeds. Other imperfections which may occur are tight and overstretched ends, slack ends, etc. Weft imperfections. Lack of uniformity in size, the twist, unremoved tint, stretched yarn are frequent causes of filling streaks or the weft streaks. Mixed filling bobbins are usually responsible for bands of different appearance from shuttle change to shuttle change. Certain weft damages may be inflicted by the weft stop motion. Broken picks may be traced to rough shuttle boxes, sharp feeler motions, or burrs and cuts in the shuttle eye. Yarn guides. Uneven, loopy, or weak nicks are usually due to insufficient tension, waste accumulation behind drop wires, weft having been caught into the shuttle. Double picks are generally the result of improper harness action. Improper action of the shuttle feeler can be responsible for pulled-in filling. Eccentric take-up rollers, faulty take-up motions are likely to produce uneven picking. Some of the miscellaneous damages are the temple marks. Temples are used to hold the fabric to its proper width while weaving. Temples leave a permanent impression on some fabrics. Roller type temples, due to eccentric rolls, may cause distortion in some construction, which would be difficult to correct. Shuttle and box marks may be due to improper shedding to picking which causes rebound of shuttle to damage shuttle, or due to inadequate flush covering on the race board. Box marks are from the chafing of weft yarn as it sloughs off the bobbin and is trapped under the shuttle. Sand roll cuts. The covering of the take-up roll may damage the fibers of woven fabric. Creases. Hard creases may be introduced into the fabric by careless take-up, such as inspection, re-rolling, etc. In certain cases, creases are impossible to remove in wet processing and show up as streaks. Selvages. Selvages are extremely troublesome and cause a lot of problems such as tight selvage, loose selvage, torn selvage, uneven selvages, etc. Damage to woven fabric. Very few imperfections are introduced after the cloth has been woven. Damages such as staining, cutting or tearing, insect or mildew damage, and simple mechanical damage as nail holes while packing is to be blamed. Common fabric defects and their causes. Bar, weft bar, appears as a band of yarn running crossways across the full width of the fabric from selvage to selvage, primarily due to difference in appearance from its adjoining end. A pick bar is due to different pick spacing from its adjacent surfaces. A starting mark starts abruptly and shades away gradually to normal fabric. This is also due to the change in the pick spacing. A weft bar caused by the variation in the tension of the weft causes the pick to shine, may be caused by large knots, rough spots in copse, etc. A weft bar is chiefly due to the variation in weft yarn count, twist, material change, color, luster, etc. from the adjoining yarns. A bar defect is primarily caused due to restarting of loom after prolonged stoppage, pick finding or unweaving or pullback of the loom. Box marks. A crosswise line showing stained or damaged weft yarn due to the rubbing of shuttle in rebound from the dirty boxes. Shuttle riding over weft yarn, oil from shuttle tongue, oil splashes from the loose crank, dirty picking sticks, etc. are all the causes. Broken pattern. This defect is mainly caused due to wrong drawing in of the warp threads, incorrect lifting of the warp ends, or due to the insertion of the wrong pick in the wrong shed. Next, the broken pick. This defect occurs when a portion of the weft yarn is missing from the width of the fabric. Poor winding, rough shuttle ice. Rough shuttle may cut the weft yarn, leading to pick faults. Cracks. Cracks are narrow openings between two adjacent yarns running parallel to the weft direction. This defect is caused due to the erratic operation of the sley or a loose reed, etc. Cut weft. This defect is chiefly caused by the use of weak weft yarns with a strong warp, which shows up as a pinhole in the finished fabric. Sharp reed and tight selvages may also be responsible for this defect. Next, the defective selvage. Selvages are extremely troublesome and are prone to many defects such as curled, cut selvage, pulled in selvage, rugged selvage, slack selvage, tight selvage, uneven selvages, etc. Curled, rolled or turned over selvages are principally caused due to incorrect balance between the body and the selvage. Differential shrinkage between the body and the selvage, weft tension, etc. Cut, torn or burst selvage are caused due to the selvage sticking to damage temple roller or to the emery roller. Pulled in selvage are principally caused due to isolated thick picks. Rugged selvages is a wavy selvage showing indentations or corrugations at the fabric edge. This defect occurs due to tension variation of selvage ends. Slack selvage is a selvage which is slacker than the body fabric. This may lead to cuts, tear or burst during subsequent wet processing. This defect is caused due to incorrect balance of cloth structure between the body and the selvage. Tight selvage. A selvage tighter than the body fabric may also cause tear, cut or burst during subsequent processing. Principal cause being imbalance of structure between the body and selvages. Uneven selvage. Variation in width along the length of the fabric, chiefly caused due to weft tension variation. Floats or stitches. This defect shows up in a fabric where ends and picks escape interlacement, mainly caused due to unmended broken ends. The long tails of the knots, unsatisfactory workmanship of the stop motion leads to this defect. Fuzz. The presence of an abraded filament yarn would cause a fibrous appearance on the fabric surface. Hang pick. A pick producing a triangular shaped hole in the fabric caused by knots which are not tied properly and prevent the weft from being firmly beaten up to the fell of the cloth. And the next defect is the harness skip or the warp skip. In this, the warp ends continuously appearing without any interlacements with the weft pick on the fabric surface, mainly caused due to broken heels, broken heeled wires, improper shed timing, broken dobby picks, etc. Lashing in defect. This defect is caused by an extra yarn being dragged into the cloth along with the regular weft yarn. There could be many reasons for this defect, which include lively weft, rough pickers, broken leather, buffer, rough shuttle, etc. and the loose warp ends. The loose warp ends are a common defect caused by loose ends forming a distinct warp line in the woven fabric. Often these loose ends cause a smash by entangling with other warp yarns. Hanging thread. Loose threads hanging on the face of the fabric, chiefly due to ends not removed by the weaver after piecing up of broken ends. And the missing ends. This defect is categorized by a gap of one or more warp ends in the cloth. The main causes are broken ends not mended immediately, missing ends, poor quality of the yarn or loom faults, etc. The reed mark. A reedy fabric would show spacing between warp ends grouped together across the width of the fabric, chiefly caused due to late shedding. This defect can be overcome by troughing of the backrest so that the top shed ends are slacker than the lower ends. Shuttle mark. Shuttle mark are widthwise abrasion of ends by the shuttle. Improper shedding, too early or too late shedding may cause shuttle marks. Next defect is luff off. This defect is primarily caused due to loosely wounded pern. During weaving, the weft yarn slips off the loosely wound pern and gets entangled in the warp layer. The stains. One of the grave problems in the textile industry occurs chiefly in the weaving shed. Stains could be from oil, rust, grease, sweat, box mark, dirt, etc. Poor material handling, cleaning, and oil practices are the chief causes for this defect. Teardrop. This type of defect occurs as a short curved pick, generally caused due to insufficient warp tension, oversized warp, or incorrect heel timing. The temple mark. Holes, surface disturbances along the selvage may leave a permanent impression on some fabrics. Eccentric roller temples may cause distortions in some construction which would be difficult to correct. The wrong denting. Warp yarn drawn wrongly through the reed is called as the wrong denting. Wrong drawing in. Warp yarns not drawn through the heel shaft as per the design requirements. Brief conclusion as to what a weaving defect is. The quality of fabric in a weaving shed is influenced by entire sequence of operations from weaving, preparatory to weaving. Periodic and systematic preventive inspection of loom mechanisms and accessories should be carried out to ensure defect-free fabric. Training the workers and making them quality conscious is a preventive method of avoiding weaving defects. The foregoing by no means is a complete description of all the defects which may be introduced into woven fabrics. However, presents a general idea of some of the more frequent conditions which may result in weaving faults.